Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Glad to have you here with me today. Excited to get into a new show that is going to go over intermittent fasting and big benefits, 10 big benefits beyond just weight loss. We know intermittent fasting is fantastic for burning body fat and being able to transform your body overall. But what we don't often talk about, and really it should get more credit than it's being given right now, are all the health benefits that come along with intermittent fasting as long as it's done safely and smartly. So what I'd like to do is really highlight 10 of those benefits. I was reading a great article the other day, and when I was reading this article, it was all backed up by over 24 different scientific studies. And so I said, you know what, this is phenomenal. I think that our community would really like to hear more about this, because remember, it's not just about transforming your body. Listen, it's great to get yourself in shape, whatever shape you want for your body, but you don't want that at the cost of taking 10 years, 20 years off your life by doing things in an unsafe way. So again, like I said, when you are combining the proper principles of intermittent fasting, and we have, again, a whole show now just on intermittent fasting. So if you haven't tuned into that, please do. Literally, this is very humbling to say this. It's absolutely amazing. We only put it out about maybe 6 weeks ago now, 8 weeks at the very most, and it's number 2 in iTunes and in nutrition, which is just, phenomenal. So I appreciate all the support, all of the subscribes to that show, and all of your reviews. If you haven't left a review yet, we would love that, of course. We'll link up the show if you haven't already checked it out. But essentially what it is going through all the different principles of intermittent fasting from an unbiased perspective. Because a lot of times, when you listen to people talk about intermittent fasting, they never talk about the side effects. They never talk about the negatives. My job as a board-certified doctor of naturopathy is to always teach you the truth. So I teach you all the phenomenal benefits, and I also teach you, listen, you have to watch out for these things. And I think that's the safest and smartest thing to do, because that's what I would want someone to have done for me when I was sick for a decade, from 17 to 27, really before I met my mentor and all of the brilliance of combining state-of-the-art functional medicine with the ancient wisdom of Ayurvedic medicine. And we put that all together to be integrative health, right? So that's what it's all about. I always just want to make sure that I share with you all sides. But intermittent fasting, I'll tell you right now, it is the closest thing that we have to the fountain of youth. And it seems to have been that for quite some time. You think about every major religion, you think about traditional Chinese medicine, you think about Ayurvedic medicine, you think about the original naturopathic doctors, the natural hygienists, right? The traditional naturopaths. It was one of their foundations. They took people into the hot springs in the forest, and they sunbathed them, and they got them into what's called forest bathing. They used the negative ions from the earth, but they also fasted them, right? And they would water fast them, and they would do all these specific things to help them with detoxification of the body, purification of the body. And I won't go too deep on that today, because today is talking about the big benefits beyond just weight loss as well. So let's dive into the show, and let's get right into number 1. Actually, let's give credit first where credit's due. This is a great article with a lot of citations, and it was written by Chris Gunners, and it looks like he has a Bachelor of Science. So Chris Gunners, great article, credit where credit's due. Of course, we'll link it up today at the show notes. All show notes will be at stephencabral.com/1999. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for our big episode 2000 show. All right. Number 1 is this. It changes, besides weight loss, intermittent fasting changes the function of hormones, cells, and genes in a positive way, meaning it starts to drop insulin levels, which is great for helping out blood sugar. It helps to improve your human growth hormone, which increases while intermittent fasting. as long as it's not taken too far. Again, I'm always going to add you add-ons for what needs to be stated as well. It helps with cellular repair. We've talked about autophagy before, right? Autophagocytosis. It helps to clean up everything from proteins to bacteria to viruses and even cancer cells. And then it improves overall longevity, gene expression against diseases in the body. Pretty phenomenal. Number 2 is this. I know I said I was going to give you the benefits beyond weight loss, and I am. We're not talking about scaled pounds on the scale. We're talking about here, though, a loss of visceral fat. Visceral fat is not even about weight loss. Visceral fat is about longevity. The more visceral fat you have, the unhealthier you are because of inflammation, fat being intertwined and actually surrounding your organs, which basically puts it in the stranglehold. It can cause, this type of fat can cause higher levels of cancer, obesity. It increases your waist to hip ratio, which could cause then higher blood pressure, higher cholesterol, and much more. So intermittent fasting actually helps to reduce waist circumference, which again, we know is a longevity-based principle. And that's why, again, when I talk about weight loss, I talk about it in terms of health. The larger your waist, right? The smaller your hips, the larger your waist, the greater chance of dying from essentially all of the 4 top causes of mortality, which are cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, and diabetes. All right, number 3 is intermittent fasting can help lower your risk for type 2 diabetes. Lo and behold, for so many different reasons. Weight loss, of course, is one of them. But in general, let's say that you go 12 hours, 14 hours, maybe a little bit longer without eating. What happens? Your body needs to use glucose for energy. A lot of people think that you can only tap in, like you get to automatically and magically switch into fat burning mode. You know, I hear a lot of these experts out there saying, well, you know, you have to tap into body fat. You need to get into fat burning mode versus glucose burning mode. Listen, I get it. I love it. I love it in principle, but it defies all physiological properties of the human body. Your body's always using glucose, always, or you'd be dead, right? That's honestly the way that it works. And it's burning body fat. The further you go towards aerobic metabolism, like sleeping, the more body fat you burn. Excuse me. The further you go towards an all-out sprint, the more you're burning glucose, even if you're in a state of ketosis, because that is how human physiology works. All right, so I just want to state that there because that's actually how the human body works. Now, the nice thing is when you're intermittent fasting and you're just, working or lying around your house or sleeping, you're actually going to tap into more of that glucose in the blood and then body fat. So really, really great at helping with overall insulin levels. Number 4, which I love this one right here, it can reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. Love this. Believe it or not, every time you eat, there's a little bit of free radicals created. And even if you're eating healthy foods, because there's an oxidative process that happens with energy use. And when you eat, you actually use a good amount of energy. And so this doesn't mean stop eating. I'm definitely not saying that because there's a fine balance to all of these things. But when you are intermittent fasting, there's some great studies that show that it can help fight inflammation and many other drivers of disease. All right, number 5 is it may be beneficial for heart health, as in, probably 100%, right? So what we look at for heart health, and this goes back to inflammation, is we look at homocysteine. Okay, that can be inflammation in the arteries. It could be from low B12, low B6, and low folate, no doubt about it. But it could also be from overall inflammation due to poor food choices, high levels of omega-6s, high levels of stress, etc. Right? Lower levels of magnesium. So what we want to also take into account is that the period of eating is going to automatically help with inflammation, which automatically is most likely going to help with those arteries of the heart. But studies have shown that improving blood sugar, improving blood pressure, improving blood triglycerides, improving LDL cholesterol, which is the oxidized cholesterol or bad cholesterol, so-called, and inflammatory markers, that has been shown to help the heart, which is unequivocal. All right, number 6 is it helps with cellular repair, right? Cellular repair. What does that mean? Well, in order to help repair the cells, we need to clean out the old, right? That's part of autophagy. And then we need to create the new. So we know that autophagy helps to clean up the old, but we also know during a period of fasting, a little bit of stress in the body. Fasting is a stressor on the body, believe it or not. That it helps with mitochondrial improvement as well. So we get to clean up the old. We get to actually make new, stronger cells. That's a great part of this as well. And we've also seen protection in certain types of diseases, such as cancer and Alzheimer's. All right, which is our next one? 7. Intermittent fasting may help prevent cancer. Well, it is stated by they. Who is they? Well, they are typically the World Health Organization and other groups around the world, saying that by the year 2030, 1 out of 2 people will get cancer, and it may overtake heart disease as the number 1 cause of mortality. That's really disturbing because cancer is 100% truly a lifestyle-based disease. Now, again, you may be exposed to pesticides, toxins, et cetera, in the environment. You don't know it, no fault of your own. You're not trying to expose yourself to those things, and you get cancer. People get cancer from spraying pesticides in fields. People get cancer from breathing in asbestos, back in the day when they were cleaning it up. People got cancer from DDT and Agent Orange and all those things during wars. And so, again, that's not their fault. They didn't purposely try to get exposed to those things, but it does happen. So we can't always know how we got cancer, and we do our best only to protect it, right? Protect ourselves from it. So here's the thing. We can only do our best, but intermittent fasting does seem to be one of those big ways to be able to do that. So intermittent fasting, not only did it help prevent potentially cancer, but it may also help with the unwanted effects of chemotherapy. Number 8, if someone's going through chemotherapy treatment. Number 8 is it has huge brain benefits. How does it help with the brain? Well, we already know that it helps with Alzheimer's, right? Helps with dementia. How does that happen? Well, we need to regulate inflammation to a greater degree. We need to improve CRP. We need to improve homocysteine because all these things affect the carotid artery, the arteries around the heart. And I've done a 3-part series on Alzheimer's. We're coming out with a whole new anti-aging based category. I'm happy to link that up for you today at stevencabral.com/1999. All right. So that'll be there. But here's the thing. If you can improve inflammation, if you can reduce oxidative stress, those free radicals, right? If you can balance your blood sugar, okay, improving insulin as well, and your overall living a healthier life, which includes more autophagy, which includes more energy because you're not putting as much food in all the time, you're likely to have less disease overall. And Alzheimer's and brain-based disease is one of those. Plus, I did another show on brain-derived neurotropic factor, and that's called BDNF. That is, I will link that up today because I don't know the exact episode, but intermittent fasting helps to improve BDNF, which can help with mood and a lot of big brain-based benefits. Big brain-based benefits. I love that. I may actually title the show that because that is quite a bit of alliteration. Big brain-based benefits. We're typing that one in. All right. So number 9, we've gone over this a few times, but when we're looking at neurological-based diseases, we're talking about Parkinson's, we're talking about Huntington's, and again, we already spoke about Alzheimer's disease, and the reason is that Alzheimer's is not just in the brain, it's basically affecting the entire body, something like type 3 diabetes and affecting the brain as well. So what do we need to do to improve all of these? Again, reduce free radical damage, right? That's why getting more omega-3s is so important, right? Eating less omega-6s, fried food is so important. Okay, we need to balance blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, increase autophagy. If we can do all of those things, then we're going to stave off a lot of the issues that not just affect the brain, but affect the nervous system as well. So neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Huntington's. All right, we've got one more to go, and it's one of the main themes of the show, but if we use intermittent fasting, it looks like we're going to be able to extend life. Now, here's the interesting thing, because one of the ways that we know unequivocally, maybe it's the only thing that we know, that if you reduce caloric consumption, you'll most likely increase age, like you'll live longer. We know that. I mean, like if we know one thing about anti-aging, it's if you eat less, you're probably going to live longer. Hypocaloric, essentially. Now, that can go too far, for sure. That can go too far. But it does seem that if you're eating your normal amount of calories, but you're including an intermittent fast from 12, 14, maybe 16 hours a day, you might get the same exact benefits as on a reduced calorie diet, which is pretty phenomenal, right? And there's 2 really nice studies that we're going to link those up on. Most of these, again, have been done in rats. I mean, that's typically how you'll do these anyways. It's the only way to get lifetimes of data, right? Because humans live 74 to 77 years old. Of course, some live longer, some live less, but that's the average for men and women. But with mice, you can obviously look through many generations or many spans of rats during these scientific studies. All right. So just in a 2017 study, mice that were fasted every other day, we talked about that before, saw their lifespans increase by around 13%. It doesn't have to be every day. There's many studies showing for intermittent fast as well, that they live longer too. So what I would say to you is this. If you're using intermittent fasting for weight loss, great, but I would love for you not to think of it as weight loss. I would love you to think of it as you're getting your body healthier. And a healthy body can't be sick. A healthy body can't be overweight. Now, not being overweight does not mean that you are literally like super thin. Like that's not the goal either. The goal is to have a happy, healthy body, right? So how I look at it is this. If you're balancing blood sugar, if you're balancing insulin, you're balancing inflammation, you're balancing free radical damage, you're improving overall autophagy, you're trying to eat healthier foods, higher in your omega-3s, a lot of monounsaturated fat versus others, you're doing great. So not only are you getting healthy, you're automatically going to lose weight. That's why we have weight loss plans. We do our functional medicine 21-day detox. We use our fat velocity protocol directly afterwards, and people do great. But at no point are we ever saying, oh, we need to help you lose the weight, No, we get people extremely healthy. That's our job. And because of that, their body can't help but to lose weight because they were overweight in the first place because their body was not healthy. It was inflamed. It was imbalanced hormonally. It was imbalanced with blood sugar, insulin being a hormone. Like when we look at these things, thyroid, cortisol levels, right? And we rebalance them. And once we rebalance them and we rebuild the metabolism, the body is, again, it gets healthy and automatically loses the weight. So I want you to think of intermittent fasting less so as weight loss and body transformation, more as getting your body healthy, all right? Hopefully today's show was helpful. If it was, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. And for all intermittent fasting shows and all of today's show notes, head on over to stephencabral.com/1999. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing day. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for our big episode 2000 over at stephencabral.com/2000. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. And you know that what I love to do on a weekly basis is to see if we can come up with some new opportunities for you to be able to save while at the same time get the very best functional medicine-based products in the world. And I mean that all of these products are third-party tested. They are made in the United States and they come from the very best ingredients. And this week, what we have for you is the opportunity, the ability to get 2 bags of the daily fruit and vegetable blends. So our very best 22 organic fruits and vegetables that have been literally juiced and dehydrated and put in their purest form right in this bag for you from 22 organic fruits and vegetables and superfoods. And you get that in their brand new containers, a low waste based bag. People have loved the daily nutritional support bags so much that we wanted to do the same for the daily fruit and vegetable blend. So now you can get these nice low waste based bags, easy to travel with. Plus, we're giving you a completely free eco glass container. That means that you get this glass container with beautiful etching on it of the EcoLife logos of the 2 circles coming together to form dynamic equilibrium, balance, unity. You get that with its bamboo airtight cover, so totally sustainable, eco-friendly, looks great on your countertop. Purchase 2 daily fruit and vegetable blends. Remember, 22 organic fruits and vegetables, a rainbow of colors. There's no way that you could eat all of this in a day. All of these different colors, all of these different fruits and vegetables and superfoods. You get 2 bags, and what we do is we ship you a glass eco canister completely free to put that right on your counter so that you know it's there each and every day to keep your healthy regimen going. For this great offer, head on over to equi.life. That's eco.life for this exclusive offer. Take care, everyone.